Hey, I'm Kate. I'm just kidding. It's too soon. Yeah, I'm glad that you have your things. I bet that feels like a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I got to unpack my favorite coffee maker instead of the 4-cup coffee maker that I just brought in the car with me. I was like, my real coffee maker. And my Nespresso is here now too. Like there's
your
not
Nespresso, great.
there's not coffee shops here. I'm not choosing to not go get coffee. There are no coffee shops. So I was like, I don't have.
That's what you get. That's what you get, Rach.
That's the punishment.
I don't feel bad for you.
So far away now.
That's really funny. Do we sound okay? Everybody sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
You sound good?
I hear everything good.
Okay, and you can't hear the fan?
Nope.
Okay. I'm Kate.
And I'm Rachel.
Oh, am I last?
Today you are. I think you're always last.
Yeah, I'm always last. I'm Hannah.
And this is Feast.
Sheath.
And Shatter.
Is it hot in here or is it just me? Tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety. Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
Okay.
We'll have to practice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to practice.
We're out of practice.
This is a new era for all of us. We are, for the first time, Rachel is in Michigan in the Upper Peninsula, and we are still down here in the South living our lives.
Is it warm there?
Yeah, it was like 80 today.
Oh wow. It was 75 here.
We had some pretty bad storms the last couple of days though.
Yeah, it's been storming.
Stupid amount of rain. So who wants to tell what book? What'd you think of this book?
It was cute.
Yeah. This is a special book.
This is a special book.
That Kate was like, oh, I'm reading this thing called A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I was like, oh, like Planet Barbarians?
No, we were like, I said, I'm reading a book that is spicy because I hadn't read any fanfic. I just didn't know about this genre.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm reading these books, and they're kind of spicy. And Rachel was like, I'm reading spicy books too. And I was like, I'm reading a court.
Reading spicy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm reading it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses. And she goes, I'm reading
me too.
Ice Planet Barbarians. And I was like, oh, what's that?
Well, I did not know they were not apples to apples. I was like, oh, okay,
no, they're
romantasy,
not apples to apples.
I'm reading it too. And you were like, oh, okay, I'll check that out. And I was like,
yeah. And
it's different.
This was my introduction to monster romance, and I love monster romance now. It's my go-to comfort reads.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the name is for it. There's probably some sort of like technical name or book talk name of the stories, the universes that each book gets a different romance.
Oh yeah.
What is that called?
That was just serial. Probably like a serial romance, because it's like there's a ton of books set in this universe.
Yeah,
every girl gets their own book.
Monster.
Yes, and that is Orcsworn, which is my favorite. It's my true heart is also like that. I love those series where it's just like a quick jaunt on a relationship, and then we're moving on to the next girl.
It was quick. It was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I liked them. I forgot how much I liked Georgie's story, because I've gone on and read quite a few of them, and some of them fight it for so long, and Georgie's just like, I mean, I could fuck him, and that would be.
And let's just start by saying it's so weird. This was her first book, and she does say at the very beginning in the prologue or in the author's notes that it took her a second to catch the tone she was looking for, because they're light and they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
But she had that real dark moment at the beginning, that she had to put a trigger warning in where she was like watching her friend.
Yeah.
That's super dark.
First going into it, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe Kate didn't warn me about this.
I'm so sorry. I forgot, because it's the rest of it isn't like that.
Right.
That never happens again.
Mm-mm.
And she names it at it's in the, I was reading the K like on Kindle Unlimited while I was listening, and I saw that she said, yeah, sorry about that really dark stuff at the beginning. I caught the tone. I caught the tone train on the, after this one. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad she called it out.
yeah. Were you like, damn, is the whole thing going to be this?
I was like, this is not what I was expecting.
No, it's just that one thing at the beginning with
Yeah, once they land on
Yeah,
the
there's
planet,
a sexual
I'm totally
assault.
fine.
Yeah. With the weirdo pumpkin head, basketball head aliens.
They needed something to run away from. Like,
right.
I don't hate, I mean, I don't love it, obviously, but I don't object to it as a different tone because I feel like it really puts into perspective why it's not better for them to stay on the ship.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we get these women who, we start off with Georgie, and she wakes up basically on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? And she's from Florida. And she's like, what am I? They're all 23. Is it 23?
Yeah. They're in their 20s.
22.
Yeah, 22.
She's like, I'm 22. She has this, in the audiobook, she has this lovely accent, like a little Southern accent. And she's like, what are we all doing here? And it turns out they're like the cargo. They're the extras.
Yeah.
They're the extra cattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're cattle. They're being
trafficked
taken somewhere. They're being trafficked.
Universally trafficked.
They're just slowly figuring this out because one girl has the translator box on her ear so she can kind of let the other girls know what to do.
Yep. Which first of all, I love that. I also realize that I'm a huge fan of when, and this happens in Love Actually, and I really enjoyed it in Love Actually as well. I love it when they don't speak the same language, but they're saying the same things.
Yeah.
It is such a great way to really drill home that they are meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like when you see it from Bechtel's perspective and you actually get to see what Georgie's saying, but it's all like scrunched together. So you know what she's saying, even when it's his perspective. I like that because sometimes they're like, oh, they're just making sounds. And you're like, yeah, but what are they saying?
He's like, and then my...
Get off of me.
Shorshi.
Get off me.
Mountain.
He's like, oh, mountain. She's like, mountain.
And then my beloved kicked me in the chest. So Georgie finds herself, anyways, they land, they oh my God, I laugh. I'm such a millennial. Like every time they say not Hoth, I giggle.
That was my favorite part.
I know.
So.
Yeah.
On not Hoth. Like what else do they do? They name it not Hoth, not Star Wars.
Because she's like, what's like Hoth? And the one girl's like, no, Hoth is and like gives them a specific, like it's a moon in a binary system.
Yeah.
And she's like, fine, then it's not Hoth. Okay.
Yeah. The ice planet that's not Hoth.
But I mean, if we found ourselves in their position, that's what we're going to do is we're going to relate it back to Star Wars. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is just like
that in pop culture. You think in pop culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. She jumps off the ship. They pick Georgie. They're like, Georgie she's the leader.
She's the leader. She's got to go find help.
Yeah.
And she goes and finds help and then ends up getting caught in a trap and passes out and then wakes up to a special treat.
Two horns.
Yes.
Between her legs.
Correct.
Yeah.
And she's experiencing the specialized anatomy of the locals. It's all soft muscle that is ridged. Correct.
Tongue.
He's got a ridged tongue.
It's specialized anatomy made specifically for pleasure.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because when we get the deep dive in the lore later on, we find out that they were actually on a pleasure tour.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were on a cruise.
They were on a cruise. They were touring.
Oh. Well, I find it weird that the blue creatures, what are they called? Do we know what they're called?
Socks.
No, they're the...
Six.
Not the cootie. What do they call the
Kui?
They're the Sakui, I think.
The Sakui. No, the people are the socks. And then the Kui. Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, I find it interesting that those women do not have clitori when the males have that little knob above their penis.
Correct.
What would that do otherwise?
That's specifically for clitoral stimulation. So why don't their women have that? Because remember, he's like down there and he's like, "What is this?"
It's a third nipple.
Poking it. The third nipple.
The
Yeah,
third
that's what he
nipple.
calls
Yeah.
it.
He calls it his third nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Honestly, this is one of those books. If you dig just a little bit deeper, it kind of falls apart.
It's
There's
not that
one
kind of
thing
book.
that happened that I was like, this makes the whole thing unbelievable for me. And that is that they've been on the planet for close to 250, 300 years maybe. And they have no... 300 years is not long enough for the story to be lost on how they got there.
Right. Well, they almost all died. That's why.
I don't care. It's not enough.
Okay.
It's not enough.
I need 1,000
fine.
years
I get it.
I mean, 1,000 maybe.
Because
250?
they already had this lore about the spaceship that it was some
It's
special
the elders.
magical cave.
It's the cave of the elders.
Yeah.
You don't...
Cave of Wonders. And she's like, this is a spaceship. Watch this.
Yeah. And thank God, I love a magical fix for a communication issue.
Yeah.
I don't...
When that happened, I was like,
I like this
know
one.
I love it.
why
This
Kate
is-
loves this book.
Yeah.
And it's this right
And I
here.
loved it when it happened in the other book that we read that people hated.
Mhm.
The Third Crescent City.
Yeah, Crescent City.
I love a magical communication fix.
Mm-hmm.
It's so satisfying to me because
now they can finally understand
God,
each other.
that would be
I
so
don't mind it in this
annoying.
book because I'm not expecting like 45
Greatness.
chapters of them figuring out how to talk to each other. I just
Right.
want them now to be able to talk to each other and then get back to this to the spicy stuff.
This is that McDonald's cheeseburger that is so delicious.
This
that
is
you've
fine.
been looking forward to
And
all
it's
weekend.
charming. It's very charming.
It is.
It's like Hallmark.
Yeah, I like
spice.
when she wakes up to his special morning greeting, which is like he takes her clothes off to try to get her warm, and then he's like, I mean, I could just stick my head in there while I'm like down here. And then
it
she's
is a
like,
little...
oh my God, I should stop him in just a minute.
Right.
In just
one more
minute, I will put a stop to this.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and it happened so fast too. You're like, oh, that's what this book is. It's a vehicle.
Thank you.
A vehicle for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you accept it for what it is, and you don't have high expectations. And I think there's something so gratifying and satisfying in all those findings about just how... I think I read like 4 or 5 of them, and then I was like, I can't do anymore.
Yeah,
But I've read
took a
all of
break. I'm still on break. But she's very readable. Like she's got a very... It's a fun... She disappears when you're reading. You get to just enjoy the book. You don't ever see the author in the book, so she's a very good author. She's just writing these...
I thought so too.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I'm also eating.
Yeah.
And they blew up. Like they blew up online. That's
TikTok,
why,
I think, kind of pushed them, and Instagram. What is it called?
That's how if they made it to me, they were big. I was like, oh, what is this Ice Planet Barbarian stuff? I'll read it.
Right.
I've been seeing a lot more people talk about Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Yeah.
And I feel very protective and like possessive almost of that book. Like I don't really like other people
I did a
talking
podcast
it.
about that 2 years ago.
Like, that's mine.
Yeah.
And
it was good.
You probably won't get it.
Yeah.
You'll never understand the depth.
You'll never understand how good it was.
It's so good. And that's typically what the language around it is. This is surprisingly a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest setting, and it's such a good time.
Yeah.
But back to Not Hoth.
Yeah. On Not Hoth. So
on Not
So once she figures out that, so really the problem is he thinks that she is his mate. So he like immediately, when he sees her, his insides start purring and he's like, this is my mate.
He resonates.
Yeah.
Because he has a symbiotic creature worm that lives inside of his body so that he can breathe the air.
A brain worm.
A brain worm. And it purrs for a specific person, a specific DNA, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because Georgie is the leader. Georgie is the leader, and so is what's his name? Vectel. Vectel is also the leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's the chieftain.
He's the chief.
And I was thinking about why this kind of story is so comforting and why, as women, the mating bond is something that is just so comfortable to us.
Right.
Like, he picks us. He's immediately protective, not necessarily controlling, but protective.
It's still her choice.
Right.
Ultimately. He's definitely interested in it not being her choice. Like, he would really like her to just get with the program. But he's like, I can wait. I can be patient.
Because he knows that their bodies were meant for each other.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll take care of you. I think that's the part that I think is the most appealing is the like, I'll take care of you. I don't care what it takes. If you're going to be my mate, then I'll take care of you.
Yeah. I think there's something especially attractive and comforting about protection without possession.
Yeah.
And he
without
is possessive.
Expectation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. And he stops when she tells her to stop. He kicks her away. And yeah.
He's very confused, but he does stop.
I do not understand.
What is happening?
Well, how do you?
Why did my beloved push me away with her tiny little foot?
Her tiny little ankle. Why, he's like, how could she not possibly feel this in return? And he experiences grief.
Yeah.
Like severe grief because she is like, what are you doing? Can we just go up the fucking mountain, bro? Like, not today. Not today.
Yeah.
Not this morning. Yeah.
It's cute.
And they save the day.
They do. I love when she shows up and she's like, oh, yeah, this is my alien boyfriend now. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he drags her into the corner and they're like, get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it, girl.
I think they're going to
We can't leave you alone on a planet for any amount of time.
I think they're going to do it. And she's like, shut up. No.
And then she comes back pregnant and she's like, I didn't think I could get pregnant. And they're like, well, a Chihuahua and a Great Dane can still get it on. She's like, you're the Chihuahua in this situation.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think these books are so fun and every book is very similar, but it's just so comfortable and so, what'd you think of the spice? I mean, this spice, they do use some language where I was like, oh, Rachel was not a huge fan of that language, but there were a couple times where I was like, ugh. I just was like, ugh, okay.
It seemed to fit the overall tone of the book to me.
I thought it was really funny that the grand finale was doggy style. That there's so many, and that's what you can tell the level of spice. We all have different levels of spice that we enjoy, but the grand finale, that is how you can tell actually how. It's not butt stuff. It's just doggy style. Which is
spur, like mini butt stuff. Like tiny butt stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny butt stuff.
It's around the butt. And he's like, we can never do this because of our tails.
She's like, are you in for a treat?
And then all the other guys are so excited. I love men that want partnership. That's also amazing. And
I think that's what is so attractive about it too.
The monster romance is always like that. They are just all about having someone that they can take care of and be good to and worship.
Yeah.
And that is not like real life.
No.
Not always.
No.
Matt was reading me a thing this morning about how all like female villains in mythology are just lone women who stand by themselves and men take that as an invitation and then kill themselves trying to get to them. Like the sirens. Sirens just sing.
Yeah.
And men go after them.
Yeah.
They're just living their life. And they're like 3,000 years and men still haven't figured it out.
Right.
Still trying to kill themselves.
And then witches are always just older women that are not married.
Right. Well, like the word spinster. The word spinster used to just mean you made enough money to support yourself. And so you didn't need a man. That was the original, because you could spin thread and sell it.
That's me and my man.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
Your orc
AI
baby.
has gotten so good. I would never use this.
Your baby is so cute.
I was like, can you put me in a family photo with my orc boyfriend? They're not human men. And that's the thing. I would raise my hand. That's the one thing I don't believe. Oh, you don't want to jump in that fucking cauldron? Oh, you don't want to stay on Not Hoth? Like, what? Yeah. I'd be like, me. I will stay.
I volunteer.
I will stay.
I volunteer.
I volunteer. Oh, I get to go live in some mountain with a bunch of orcs that like.
Yeah, and they have hot springs. Like, it sounds like a great time.
Yeah. The worst thing is the smell of the sulfur.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And it is cold.
Get used to that. You just live in a hot tub. Someone brings you food.
He's gonna.
You don't have to have a job.
Hand and foot.
I mean,
you're gonna have multiple orgasms, multiple times a day.
Yeah, they really don't.
I think that's the part that for me rereading it, I was like, oh, okay. Every time she was like, but I don't know if we're gonna stay. Like, what are you going back to? What
First
are you?
Of all,
how are you planning on getting back? You don't even
first
know
of all,
where you
it was
are.
obviously not 2025.
Like, exactly.
It wasn't 2025 in the United States. When this book was written, that's for damn sure.
And you want to go back to Florida?
Yeah. You want to go back? You're going to go back to Florida for Florida men. You're going to leave the big blue guy who just wants to take care of you to go back to
7 foot
Florida?
Tall giant
for a Floridian man? No. No.
Meth, bath salts, or a quee. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love the idea of the quee and just like. I just would be. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I like the idea that we are soulless, as we are. Humans are soulless.
Yeah, and then we don't have one until we have our tapeworm in our brain that makes us be able to breathe. It's basically like an organ, right? It like takes out
It filters out whatever. She's like, there's a thing in the atmosphere. It's bad for you. That's her like scientific explanation. And you can't breathe it, and that's why you need it. So,
and they have 8 days until they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Then all the other guys are like, let's go see. And there's so many of them. I think there's 12 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 12 women, and they're all like, 12 women? We'll go rescue them. Let's go right
and
now.
Then let's go get Who's purring? Who's purring?
I heard a purr.
Somebody's resonating when they're in there, and they're all like, not me. And then he steals her away. And that's how we get. That's another thing I love about these stories is that there's always some sort of reference to the books that come before it and then the book that's going to come after it. So you're always like kind of teased with the next story. So it's Liz and the other guy, the broken horn guy for the next one.
Yeah, they disappear at the end. They're like, I don't know. He just picked her up and ran off with her. He'll bring her back. I don't. It's going to be fine.
I'll give him a good talking to when he gets back.
That's not acceptable. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, these books. I wonder what it was about. I think these books are the one. I think they really took off and kind of like almost hit a mainstream just because they are written well enough to not be like criticized outside of what they are. You know what I mean?
I mean, she is a good writer. You can tell. It's not like some of the other things we've read.
Yeah.
We've definitely read things where I was like, no. But this, she's very entertaining.
No. She knows exactly what it is.
Yeah. She's writing exactly. She knows what she's writing and she writes it well. Yeah. She's not trying to be like, I'm creating the next great fantasy novel or anything. She's just like, it's a monster fucker romance. I hope you like it.
And there's another one just like it with a little bit of a different little plot line.
Yeah. But you want to read it again? Got you, fam. Oh, you want to read it again?
Got you. Yeah. I love that. I think they're just comfort. It's like comfort food. You just read it and eat some mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm reading another one right now. The tagline was literally just, there's 2 of everything.
What? Ooh. What is it?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me. He's like a merman. Let me find it.
I can't do water guys. It's the same as the pirates.
It's pretty good.
Who's the author for that?
I'm looking it up.
Katie Robert?
No.
He does. I like her stuff, but
it's Emma Ham.
I can't do
Whispers of the Deep.
I feel like I saw that on TikTok today.
It's pretty good so far. I'm really enjoying it.
Where does the human stay?
Where does the human live?
Do they stay in a bubble underneath?
They're in an underground city. We haven't really covered why. And he kidnaps her, kind of. And he's keeping her in like an underground cavern. But at this point, he's moved her.
Like an underwater cavern?
Yeah. Like humanity has moved underwater for some reason.
Oh, okay.
We haven't really talked about why.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
I don't like the underwater. I don't know why. I don't care for underwater.
You just don't do seawater.
Pruny fingers.
Yeah.
I don't.
Like we don't like beach sex.
Oh,
you know,
no sand in the
well,
sand
that's
in
just sand in our yonis.
That's just practical.
In my yoni. Yeah. yeah. None of that. I just don't care for it. But I love other monsters. Have y'all heard of this book, Silver Elite? Did I mention it to you?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to bring some of the TikTok drama to the discussion for a second.
Okay.
This book has I guess the marketing of it was really good. A bunch of people read the arcs and they really, really loved it. And they were like, this is the next big book. And then the book came out and people are like fighting over this book. It's this kind of dystopian novel. It's a plug and play to me. It is a dystopian. The author is rumored. I didn't actually hear her say it, but she was like rumored to be like, we don't have enough dystopian stories with spice. So she writes this book and it does some things. It's obviously a dystopian society, but it's so flippant that it's really like it doesn't necessarily align with the gravity of dystopia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be like if Elizabeth Moss in The Handmaid's Tale was just like, haha, let's go do it.
Yeah.
Haha. And then we just went over there and giggled together and I put his penis in places that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is a little bit of that, but it's a good time. I didn't think it was terrible. But the people are just being so mean to each other. It's getting really book talk can be really fucking mean. Like
brutal.
People who are like, you're a fucking moron. If you like this book, your what are those things called?
Your degree?
Your degree is moot.
Kate points to her degree on the wall and says, what are those things called?
What's that called? You like this book? Oh, fucking no education for you moron. Yeah. It's just so, it's crazy. And like, it's all, I don't know what it is about people identifying so hard with books and like it becoming a part, like it, because I like this book, there's nothing wrong with me. You know, I'm smart at times, and I don't have to be smart at literature.
At the risk of bringing in one of Matt's philosophy guys, there's a guy named John Vervaeke who has a thing called the meaning crisis, or he has a whole philosophy around the meaning crisis, which is like a lot of us grew up in like a religious institution where we really solidly identified with like a dogma or a thing that we identified as ourselves. Like we are Christian, we are whatever. And then a lot of us are moving away from that, and that leaves a void. And so we have this pattern of behavior that requires us to have a thing that we identify as. Sure. And yet we don't have a thing for the void. So we pick stuff like Star Wars or
a hobby, a special interest.
Harry Potter.
Or Harry Potter. Or whatever. And then you identify as like, this thing is now, it fills the same gap as that religion.
Wow.
And it becomes a part of your identity.
And also the lack of community. It's like the community around religion is also a thing we were all part of. And when you leave it, you leave the community. And now you're searching for community.
Actually what's powerful about religion.
Right.
You know, it's because you're not going to lose. You're not going to go against what Peggy Sue said, because then who you going to have mac and cheese with on Sundays?
Right.
You know,
so you're looking
it's more about community.
You're looking for the thing to align yourself with that will bring you community. And then you defend it the same way you would like a village. So you're like, you circle the wagons around Fourth Wing. Yeah. And then when anybody says anything wrong about it, they're attacking you personally. Because it is you. It is the thing you have defined yourself by. And it is the thing that has formed your community. So you have to defend it.
Right.
That's deep.
It is deep. And I see that happening a lot, especially with these fandoms that are especially female dominated. And I also think it's crazy on TikTok, and I've said this before, there's a huge age spectrum. I mean, you've got women that are 18 and women that are 42 reading the same books. Mm-hmm. And we are all going to have very different takes on it. It's like the Nesta argument. There are people, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've straight up blocked people who had like really aggressive takes on Nesta and who she was and who you are as a person.
Yeah.
If you can relate to her.
Yeah.
And the conversation around being angry or being mean or being whatever, and like people just get so in their feelings about these things. And I'm just like, I don't really have room for that right now.
I listened to a really good podcast called Sounds Like a Cult, and they have one about the cult of book talk.
Oh, they do?
Pretty good, yeah.
Oh, we'll have to go listen to that.
Check it out.
And then I'm going to have to probably process afterwards. Actually, I tend to stay kind of on the outskirts of it. I don't want to be somebody who does reviews and stuff. You know, like I don't want to be a book talker. I don't want.
I mean, this is enough for me.
I see very clearly the responsibility of being an influencer, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Like to be held to account or to be held to a standard that people don't hold themselves. And there's this like perfectionism thing that online communities do where one mistake, never again, the canceling of things. I just choose to have a much more nuanced take on life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a part of something that can be so confining and critical. And also I just
very
can't.
critical. I couldn't do the criticism of every small thing. Would drive me crazy.
Right. And I think, one of the arguments is anti-intellectualism. Are these books anti-intellectual? Right? Does this make us a stupider as a society because Planet Barbarian exists?
No, because we've always needed an escapism. I would say that it is a reaction to intellectualism.
That make us dumber. I think this is just nowhere near the top of the list.
Yeah, I would say yes, I agree.
Just nowhere near.
The cult of book talk.
I can think of like 20 other things in our society that makes us dumber, right?
Yeah.
This fulfills the same need.
Including my Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can taste bad because the ice is bad. Sorry about that.
But this fills the same need that like Shakespeare's comedies did. So if you were in England at the time that Shakespeare was writing, you would go to his comedies, not because he's a great playwright and because you're studying him in English class, but because he's going to show you something funny and it's going to be a good time. And then you're going to get to go talk to your friends about it.
Yeah, we're going to head on down to the Globe. You been to the Globe this week?
Yeah.
To the Globe.
You for real? Oh, I was like, dang.
I was being in that time with you.
Oh yeah, thanks. It was a bit. I started the bit and then didn't finish the bit.
I was too too immersed into it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's just like the any kind of comics or the little 10-cent books that you would buy back in the day. I mean, there's always Penny Dreadfuls. Yeah, there's always been some sort of what people call base entertainment, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Guilty pleasure.
And this stuff specifically being for women, and just the criticism and how hard women are on things that are for women.
Yeah. Well, men used to have a genre. They used to have the male genre. And it was just dudes carrying guns around doing like James Bond shit. So it's the male equivalent of what we're reading, which is like, I want to be a guy. I want to be seen as a protector. I want to be seen as someone who knows how to use a weapon.
I want to be a leader.
The day, and I can sneak in and blah, blah, blah.
Blow stuff up.
So it was the same, like, I want to, in my mind, play out this thing that I would love to have in my real life. And I think that people just don't like that women are like, wow, I wish I just had a guy who took care of me. Like, I wish I just had a guy who was nice.
And then realized that I'm the leader in every other way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, basically, that's what these guys do. They worship at the altar of Georgie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, no matter how big or how strong or how much he's a leader and everything else, when it comes to her, she's still in charge.
Right. And that is the natural order of things. I had a moment in the office this week. I forgot what I was watching, but I was like, it was just me and a couple other women. I was like, God damn it. Who runs your household? And I looked at every one of them and I said, who runs your household? Who runs your household? Who runs your household? And then they were like, I do. And they were like, I do. And I was like, so why do we think men are better at leading? Like, why is that the thing? Why do we think that men know what they're fucking doing?
Yeah.
I saw another thing today that was like, imagine, I think Amy Schumer actually said this on Call Her Daddy, but imagine if your dad or just a man had to plan your birthday party.
Oh.
No.
Right? But they plan everything else. They run everything.
They're planning war.
Did y'all did you see the new airplane? Sorry. Had to cut that.
It's fine.
Somebody's new airplane that
We've turned over a new leaf. You can say what you want.
Yeah. Well, the United States was just given a $400 million aircraft.
We weren't given shit. Something was exchanged.
Something was traded.
Yeah.
You know how much money the Trump's you know how much their values increased by in the last 3 months?
Oh gosh.
$3 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion a month.
Yeah, because this is a highway robbery. This is a stick up.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
Ugh, I'm just so sad all the time. I just want to escape to Not Hoth.
You see, that's what
I want to be
That's
Georgie.
the purpose of Not Hoth, because you can go to Not Hoth anytime.
Anytime you want, yeah.
Anytime. There's so many. There's like 20 plus, I think. Because she got through all the girls.
Did they bring more girls?
They got through all the girls.
Is there a second generation?
They switched to like the next generation. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would like to read. So did Georgie and Vectal have children? And then I will say this, there's always a kid. And like, I'm not someone that like needs there to be a kid, but that happens in the orcs horn stuff too, because they have to have the mate because the orcs can't have babies with, there are no orc women.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why there's always a baby. And I'm like, fuck, I want to live in a mountain and be, I mean, honestly, if I didn't have to work, if somebody was always going to feed me and protect me and pay for everything, and all I had to do was devote my time to being a mom,
pack of babies.
I might be able to do. Wait, is that anti-feminism?
No.
But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't work and have a kid. I mean, you do it because you do it.
You don't have to.
What is it? Modern motherhood is trying to do everything alone that you used to rely on a community to do with you.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You would.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
we should expect a community to help, like with childcare. Yeah.
Well, that's what all the women do in this book and in the orc book. It's like they're besties and they raise kids together and they further their line in these small communities with this big old.
Does it ever get warm or is it always ice?
I think there's seasons.
But doesn't the queen make them not as cold?
It makes them warm.
Yeah, but still,
there's other areas
too,
like
green grass. Sometimes
does it make their eyes glow?
Well, there's another girl that leaves. She leaves because she can't stand to be around all the happy people. She goes to live in a cave, and she meets like a feral guy who's been alone. Did you watch that one?
No.
Or read that one? Yeah, she meets a feral, one of the like Sakui guys, and she has to like. Yeah, and he lives on like the beach, so she goes to the beach.
Ooh. Wait, like a warm beach?
I don't think.
Guys, I'm sorry, guys. Losing their minds. They're not used to being outside.
Yeah,
they're spoiled little babies, and they just stay outside all the time. Never outside. They never get told no. Apparently, that's a problem. So.
You can let them in if you want to.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah, you did that for me?
I did it for us.
Well, I think that next time I'll be here earlier, before we start. So
let me go get them. I'll be back. You guys talk to each other.
Okay.
Say nice things while I'm gone.
The rest of these are really. I like the next one with Lisa. I think that was her name. The one with the ear translator.
Yeah.
Because she goes to try to have the translator removed because it translates like everything, and she's tired of hearing everything that everybody's saying.
Yeah.
And it also amplifies everything. So she can like hear everybody being in love and having a great time.
Oh.
Yeah. But I don't think she ends up removing it. I can't remember. The next couple are they're good. They're just fun. They're like candy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can read
Doesn't
one
take
in
long.
a couple of hours and they're enjoyable. I think there's only one where she fights it, and that was the one where I was like, girl, please, because they end up alone. I forget why. And she's like, has the Kui, so she's compelled to mate with him. And she's like, but I don't want to mate with him. And so she ends up just like stuck in this cave, refusing to have sex with him.
That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, can we just? I mean,
don't fight it.
What's going to change? Is it going to get better?
Yeah.
I mean, I get the you want them. She wants to have a choice, but also she likes him. She just doesn't like that she's compelled to like him. She's like, am I compelled to like him, or do I actually like him?
Sure.
I don't know. Life's short. Just enjoy it, I guess.
Yeah. Who cares? You're on an ice planet.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Oh, Feyre. Oh,
Sorry.
Henry. He's like, Mom, why no love?
Yeah, you need to learn to.
Not all about you all the time.
Yeah.
It is, though.
He's so
most of the time.
He's so masculine. Where is he? Don't look at him.
Don't talk about him.
Mm-mm.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew we wouldn't get a long podcast out of this book because it's so short.
Yeah.
But it was really fun.
Yeah, I'm glad. It was a nice little break.
I think it opens up a lot of interesting discussion because she's one of the big romantasy authors that made it big at the beginning of the romantasy wave.
Yeah, that's true. These were 2022 books.
I don't think they're that.
Oh, really?
Are they older? Let me see when it was published. 2015. She wrote Ice Planet Barbarians in 2015.
Did you hear that?
2015. That sounds
that
more
sounds
right.
These books are
submissive.
10 years old.
10 years
10
old.
years old.
Yeah.
Like ACOTAR.
Yeah, and she originally published it serially, and then she compiled it later.
Oh.
Fun.
On what? On what?
I don't know. I just went to mark it as read on Storygraph, and there was a librarian note that was make sure you're marking the complete volume and not the part 1, part 2, part whatever, because it was originally. I think she did it on Kindle when you used to when there was no Kindle Unlimited, when it was just Kindle free.
Yeah.
When you could just put them up for free.
Oh, nice. Well, she did a great job. They are a good time.
Yeah,
they definitely feel I feel like we've read things that are more spicy now. I remember reading them the first time and feeling like these were really spicy.
Y'all remember Friends with Monsters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stuck a thing to the wall, to the window.
To
the window.
Well, we felt that one was instructional.
It was.
Yeah, she was
she's super helpful.
Here's how to have, a couple of partners if you want that to be a thing.
Yeah. I've read way, and fan fiction now too. I didn't have Wattpad or fan fiction when I was growing up, and I really wish I had. I would have been I was just sneaking out. I would just stay awake and watch Real Sex on HBO. Because we always had HBO, and I don't think my parents realized there was after dark programming.
They knew nothing.
No
I
way.
remember the song and everything.
We were unsupervised on the
Sujo Hansen?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't with her. That wasn't that. This was an HBO show that would talk about different communities of people.
Oh, wow.
And then there was
interesting.
Wasn't Hookers at the Point something? Wasn't there a show about
the rest
hookers?
of us just watched Discovery Channel?
Not me. That's what happens when no one pays attention to you.
Yep.
You'll be watching
we were
HBO
unsupervised
late
on
night.
the internet, but there was also nothing on the internet. There was some on the internet, but not like now.
This was the early 90s.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of us for doing this and having technology.
Oh my gosh, we did so good.
Yeah.
And by we, I mean,
I'm glad we finally did Ice Planet Barbarians because we've mentioned it a lot.
A lot.
We've never actually talked about it. And there's not a lot to say about it. It's just really good. And it does feel foundational. I feel like a lot of monster fucker books have gone off of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to know what came before it. Is she's not the first, but was she one of the first to do a lot of the not forced proximity, but
you should do some research on that, Rach.
We should try to find the oldest monster fucker book we could.
Oh, the oldest monster romance.
There is a book series. I thought we should if we ever want to do where did this all come from? There's a book series called, I think it starts with Kushiel's Dart, and it's a whole series. and it was traditionally published, so it's before like Amazon indie publishing, but their magic is related to sex. And she can't get the sex magic to work, and it's because she needs like kinky sex, and that's like her
type
how
of
she
sex
can
magic.
express her magic. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love that for her. It's so pro anti shame.
Yes. So that would be a fun. I read the first one a long time ago when I was not out of as far away from my religious trauma as I am now. So I would love to revisit it now as someone who would maybe appreciate it more than I did then.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I don't have a keyboard. I was going to type, but I can't because there's no keyboard.
And
we're going to do ACOTAR next.
Yes,
we're doing ACOTAR, and we're going
to the land of mass.
We're going to go. We're going to do it from a place of super reader. You've read them all, and we'll put a thing on the front. This is for a reread only, a full reread, and that's how it's going to be. And we're going to listen to the new audiobooks that drop on the 30th.
May 30th.
Yep. They will all come out at one time.
Wow.
Oh,
I hate waiting.
I'll tell you guys, tell Rachel this thing that happened to me. I already called Hannah. It was really funny. I always am like, I don't think I'm even attracted to men anymore. And I just was giggling so hard today because this guy said on TikTok yesterday, he said, "Come here." And I was like,
he sat up.
I was like,
me?
And just like, I forget. And I was reminded. I was like,
it's good to be reminded every now and
then. I am, unfortunately.
Most unfortunate.
If you yell at me or tell me what to do, I'm like, me? Okay. I can do that. I just like giggled so hard. I wish you guys could have seen me because I was like,
but like also mad, like also like trying to be mad about it.
Who
but
is
like,
this motherfucker, don't talk to me like that. Don't stop.
Don't talk to me like that in public.
Please don't ever stop
in
talking.
public.
Don't ever stop talking to me like that. And then I get, all of a sudden something will be like, oh, you'll be like, oh, that's one of my things. I forget that's one of my things. Anyways, I'm excited about ACOTAR. I'm excited about revisiting.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
home.
Rachel.
I'm ready.
It does feel like home.
We were at
we
were at a thing a couple weekends ago, and Matt's sister was like, have you read ACOTAR? And have you read A Court of Thorns and Roses? And I was like, yes.
Have I?
Like, how much
have I?
How much do I want to say? She was like, I'm really enjoying them. And I was like, I'm really glad. I'm really glad. I'm glad you're enjoying them. I was like, you should try Crescent City next. And she was like, okay. I was like, I really like the first one. You should read that one.
No, Rachel. Yes. We don't do that. We don't go Crescent City. We go Throne of Glass. And then
she's already reading Throne of Glass. She's working her way through Throne of Glass.
Okay. That's a different
I followed
scenario. You painted the picture incorrectly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's up for debate. You know what I did realize recently? I was wrong about the order of Throne of Glass, I think. I don't want anyone to read it in the order I read it in. Because I don't give a fuck about Sam Cortland.
Yeah, I don't read that one anymore.
I don't care about him at all. But everybody who starts with the book, because it's their introduction, feels an emotional connection to him.
So
I thought Assassin's Blade was...
You should start with Assassin's Blade.
I think so now. It was the worst.
It was the worst.
It was so bad.
The part where she's like communing with
Assassin's Blade, they'll never get to any other books.
No.
Because it's so... Well, I just think that when I see people having that emotional connection and I realize how disconnected I am from him as a character, I'm like,
people
I
really
like that
are
for them.
obsessed with Sam. And I was like, Sam who?
I don't give a fuck
I don't know
about
who you're
Sam
talking
Cortland.
about.
Because he was such an afterthought. But if that was your first love, like a teenager has,
who you had butt stuff with,
you had all that butt stuff. Then
I think that's another thing, like another thing people do. Because I watched this German vampire show that had the guy from Max
Is it a good
Hall in
one?
it.
What?
really hot guy?
We talked about. Yes, we know exactly who you're talking about. Whoa! What's the name of the show? I think you told me about it. We need to watch that.
I think
How do we
Love
How do we
Bites.
get
You
access?
have to. It's only in German. You have to go to the ZDF website, which is their BBC.
It's their okay.
And you can watch it on Chrome, and you have to put the subtitles on, and then tell Chrome to translate the page, and it will translate the subtitles, and then you can watch it.
Never gonna happen for me.
That sounds, but
it's not that hard. It's just under Chrome's little settings.
Okay, but how do you put the Chrome on the TV? Oh, you cast it to the TV?
I mean, you could. I just watched it on my laptop. Anyway, they're short little episodes, and there's only 10 of them, and he's really, really hot. So
he really
make it work.
Anyway,
he has a love interest from the beginning, and you see her for half of an episode, and the episodes are 18 minutes long. And so I went on to see, because it ends on it's a good ending, but it's not a satisfying ending. And so I went to see if they were going to do a season 2, and it was just pages and pages of people being like, I really only liked his first love interest. I don't know why we didn't get more time with her. She was way better than the love interest that they went to. And you see her for 5 minutes. She is not a character.
People are afraid to move on.
And I was like, there it is.
Stuck.
I was like, I recognize that from when I used to be active in fan fiction communities, and people would be like, I really only like this previously mentioned character who's only in footnotes, and she's obviously the better fit for him, and I'm emotionally attached to the side character. So that's what Sam feels like to me. I'm emotionally attached to the random side character that we see for 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Yeah. She wouldn't even let him have the good soap. How close could they have possibly been?
Yeah. Well, it was a tragic story.
I mean, it's
we don't. I guess we should put a spoiler warning on this one.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll be back with our friends Tam Tam
and Reeson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up with some great questions for you guys.
Okay.
I think it'll be
fun.
This is going to be fun. This is the first time I've reread them, having read all of them.
Oh.
So
I think your tolerance for them is going to be a lot more because you recognize you know what they are.
I need to just let them be fun. I need to just let them be fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now I think I can do that.
You also don't have to let them be fun. A lot of people don't think they're fun. There's a lot of...
I think
I just don't...
Let them be fun.
Yeah, you do.
For the purposes of this exercise.
Yes.
Well, that's what makes it fun, is that... I mean, it's still kind of...
She's still going to rage.
Rach is going to rage.
Don't get your hopes up too high.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm excited. I'm so excited to listen to. I don't know if I shared it, but I listened to a sample of the new books coming out, and it really does feel like Aelin is Feyre. So I'm curious. I cannot fucking wait to hear Rhysand's man voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that part in the first book, in Mist and Fury, where it became like a soundbite, and it was like, welcome to Valaris, the city of starlight. And it sounds like an old lady on Broadway, not Rhysand. I can't wait to hear that again from a masculine, man place.
Welcome to Valaris.
That's it. Wait, everybody do your man voice. Do your man voice. Rachel, you go first,
no.
Rach.
You put me on the spot.
I don't know. I don't know.
Welcome to Valaris.
Rachel.
Welcome to Valaris.
Rach.
Welcome.
I mean, that would be the hardest thing to do as an audiobook reader, is you'd have to
sound
do the
like an adolescent boy
without sounding terrible.
I feel like I sound like
your voice is changing clearly.
Yeah, Avi. That's what makes him good.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, another funny thing is I made a TikTok where I was talking about these coming out, being really excited about the Elizabeth Evans audiobooks. And I swear to God, it is so hilarious when you're like, I really love this thing. And then people come in and go, well, I like this thing. And it is not your thing.
It's the Sam Cortland thing. It's the Sam Cortland thing all over again.
I had to ask ChatGPT, why don't I like this? And they're like, well, it's really invalidating and a little bit rude, and it's not something you would do to somebody in real life. It's kind of one-uppy. It's like, oh, I really like this audio narrator, and I'm really happy to. Well, graphic audio is fucking way better. I actually cannot stand graphic audio. It sounds like a radio show to me. And I think it's incredibly cringy. And that does not mean that I don't think it's awesome. And a lot of people really, really love the ACOTAR version.
I can't.
I don't care for it. I think it is over dramatic. I don't think the acting, because it doesn't feel like interactive acting. It feels like everybody's individually acting. And because it's like a radio show.
Yeah.
And I'm just not about it. It doesn't speak to me. It doesn't call to me. I actually find myself clenched as I'm listening to it. And the amount of people, well, it was only 0.045% of the people who saw it. And I had to do the percentage to make myself feel better, because there's something about I don't do that to people. Like if I see somebody loving something, I'm not like, well, you know what's better than what you love? This thing over here. And then have somebody try and convince you of that thing. Like I shouldn't have had to be like, well, I think it's kind of performative. It's not word for word. It's an abridged version of the story. Like I'm just not into it. Well, when I listened to it, I knew that it was like, I knew the story. I didn't miss anything. I'm like, you don't have to convince me.
Yeah.
And I'm okay. I'm okay without the discourse. This isn't, I don't want to talk about them both.
The lady, the leopards wouldn't eat my face lady, the Francesca.
I don't know what that means.
You haven't seen her like music video? I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. Oh, you need to look. I'm going to send you her video immediately. But she's a pretty interesting creator, because she addresses a lot of those, like where people will comment and have a whole video, but they've only read the title of an article and not the contents of an article.
Yeah.
And she'll talk about like, you're not a journalist. Stop. Like if you're not going to read the whole article and talk about the whole article, you're actually just spreading misinformation.
Yeah. Right.
And she also has one, she'll call it, but I don't like bean soup. And so that's what
the bean soup, that's a real thing that happened on TikTok.
Yeah.
Bean soup is a real thing. And I was going to mention bean soup. A girl put up this like amazing recipe for bean soup. And somebody in the comment section was like, well, what if I don't like beans? Then fucking scroll on. This is about bean soup, bro.
So she'll go, but what if I don't like? That's how she responds to when people like do the context collapsing thing, where they're like responding to a part of, or not like completely invalidating her point. She'll be like, but I don't like bean soup. Right. And so you look her up, because she did I didn't think the leopards would eat my face, said woman who voted for leopards eating face party.
Oh yeah.
And then she made a whole music thing about it, and she'll react to like people making political comments that are like, I didn't think it was going to happen to me, and be like, oh, did the leopards eat your face?
Yeah.
And she has a whole song. So
every single day when something happens, I think to myself, like, this is what we were talking about. Like, we knew this. We're not surprised. This is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. Why are you surprised?
Right. It's like you already knew the ending to a book. And now you're just watching it play out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. Anyways, okay. Well, it's been
so next
fun.
time, ACOTAR.
Hannah,
Yeah, friends.
Yeah, this was fun.
See you soon.
Okay,
next
bye.
Time with Hannah.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy, novels of the spicy variety. Not your average book club, if you know what